Hello everyone, thank you for coming back to my channel. Today I have come up with Keema Biriyani. This is very easy and very delicious biryani. Very flavorful and easy to make biryani. Just we have to follow some steps. Here I'm going to show you the steps to follow and it will be easy for you. So step 1, we have to do the marination for the mincemeat. I have got 500 grams of keema and I will start doing the marination. Here I have got 1 whole lemon, pink salt 1 tablespoon, half a tablespoon of turmeric, jeera, I have flipped some red chilli on top, and some red chilli, 1 tablespoon garam masala. Now I'm going to take all these grounded spices to my mincemeat and squeeze the lemon and then going to marinate it. This is cumin powder I'm adding, which I forgot to mention before, and adding rest of the masalas. Step 2, add all the wet ingredients. Here are the rest of the ingredients. 1 cup of yogurt, and this is the mix that I made. 2 tablespoons ginger and 2 tablespoons of garlic paste, half a handful of coriander and half a handful of mint. Blend it and this aromatic paste will be ready. This is one of the key ingredients of my mincemeat biryani. So adding my green paste to my mincemeat. Now adding the yogurt. It's time to marinate. We have to do this job very nicely. We have to mix it all, every corner, so all the flavor of these ingredients reaches everywhere and the keema looks delicious, so you feel like eating straight away, but you can't. You have to cook it and then you have to eat it. Once the marination is done, we have to clean the plate, the sides, because we are going to keep it in the fridge for 2 hours. You can leave this marination for more hours. The longer you keep, the tastier it becomes. But I have some guests to come, so I have to be on time. Therefore, I'm going to leave it for 2 hours and then make it. Meanwhile, I will wash 500 grams of rice and soak it on cold water for an hour. So step 3 is done. Step 4, we will make the potatoes. Now I'm going to take big potatoes, add pinch of red chili, pinch of turmeric, pinch of salt, and a small amount of food coloring to make it look good. I use this food coloring only on parties, but usually in normal days I do not use them. Now going to mix all the masalas and then going to deep fry them and make sure that they're cooked about 90% and not 100%, or you can actually do 100%, but I'm afraid that when I'll be moving from pan to plate it will be too soft and can break easily, so I prefer it 90% done. Putting all my potatoes on the hot oil and making sure that they're well done, because the oil is very hot, so be careful. Cook them about 8 to 10 minutes, all sides. Once the potatoes are done, put it aside on a tissue paper plate so all the extra oil will be soaked. To a big pan, I'm going to add almost 3 liters of boiling water and 3 sticks of cinnamon, 3 bay leaves stir about, a black big cardamom, and 2 to 3 pieces of cardamom, 4 pieces of cloves, and 3 to 4 sticks of coriander, few sticks of mint, and 1 star seeds, and boil this water until the bubbles come up. Now I'm going to add my rice because the water is hot enough and bubbling. So I'm going to add 500 grams of rice, which is well washed and was soaked for an hour. So when I cook this rice, it won't release the starch and become sticky. To it, add half a cup of oil, and this one was our step 5. There are various types of rice in the market, but for biryani, most of the time we use basmati rice. But today I'm going to use a Bengali rice, which is called chini gura chal. This has a very unique smell and very lovely taste. Therefore, I'm going to use this one for today. If you are using basmati rice, it should take 12 to 15 minutes to cook. But today I'm using the chini gura, so it should take 8 to 10 minutes to cook. So on this pot, I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of salt, so the rice tastes really good. We have drained all the water, and here's the rice. Step 6, making the onions. So I'm going to add all the spices that I have. That's dried jeera, 2 cinnamon sticks, 4 cardamom, 4 cloves. So I'm going to cook them until a nice flavor comes up. Stir them until it releases its beautiful smell. Add all the onions to make them fried. You can also buy this fried onion from the shop, but I preferred making them today because it's Eid. So yeah, my food should smell nicer today. So to this onion, I'm going to add a little bit of salt. It should be like a tablespoon or a bit less, and I should fry them until they become golden brown. Now step 7, I have made my onion really browned and taken half of it away to another plate and left half of it on my pan to cook my mincemeat. So I have added green chili, split it into 2 for its chili taste, and stir them very well. Then I have added all the mincemeat on top, so we can start cooking the mincemeat. I have kept the flame very high and adding all the masalas to my keema. This time I have to make sure that all the onions and the masalas that was infused in the oil is mixed with keema very well, and also the masalas in keema, they should be cooked very well. Therefore, I have to stir them like about 5 minutes to make sure that the water that it's releasing, it's getting cooked. Also, all the masalas are getting cooked as well. Put the flame down and close the lid so the mincemeat will be fluffy and moist. At some point you will see the keema has released all the water it has, so you have to keep on stirring until it becomes dry. After some point of stirring, you will see the water is evaporating and it's bubbling like this. The oil has come up and the keema is becoming a bit clotty. You still have to stir them gently and break the clots and make sure all the masalas has got in, and this way the smell of the keema will become very nice. To make my mincemeat a bit tangy, I'm going to add fresh cherry tomatoes. They are very tasty, and once you add it to your mincemeat, they just smell divine. I will carry on stirring until this tomatoes releases its juice and my keema becomes a bit dry. After 5 minutes of stirring, close the lid and let it cook softer. Now I'm going to open the lid, and here you go. You can see it looks really nice. Therefore, for my Keema Biriyani, we have got our potato, our fried onion, and our mincemeat ready. Step 8, our rice, that the layers I'm going to make on the pan. The first layer should be a thin layer of rice because we don't want the meat to burn. Therefore, if the rice burns, still we can have a nice crunchy rice. So the second step is I'm going to add all the mincemeat on top of the rice, and this layer should be not very thick because we have many more layers to do. Once the keema layer is done, I'm going to add the fried onion, and it should spread all over. Now I'm going to add all the potatoes. Make sure you spread them very well and they are not top of each other. So once it will be steaming, it will become softer. Meanwhile, setting it up, I'd like to know that I have listed all the steps down on the description box. You can always check there all the steps and make it. Once your potato layer is done, start layering with rice. Therefore, I was left over with all of the rice, and what I did was I have added to my pan. So it was a thick layer of rice, and then I'm going to add the rest of the mincemeat, and that will be also a thick layer. Make sure you make this layer a bit thick, and I have added all the keema that I had from my pan to this pan to make it a nice layer. Step 10. Once the layering is done, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of Keora water, or you can also add rose water for a nice flavor. I've added a little bit of saffron. I always add saffron. I love its smell. I'm also adding food coloring to make it look very beautiful for Eid. Also adding some chilies, whole chilies, and some mint leaf, and half a cup of ghee, clarified butter. Now I am also adding the onions on top, the fried onions that I made earlier. So I was left over some, so I am also adding them for a lovely flavor. All the steps that I have showed in my clip is very important, and one of the most important step is coming now. Once the layering is done, everything is done, then we have to add our pan on top of another flat pan. That flat pan will control the heat, and that heat will make our biryani steamed very well and combined with ghee and the other flavorings that I have added at the end. We have to seal our pot very well, and this is the pan that I was talking about. It's a flat pan, and I will hold my biryani pot and put it on top and put the flame on high for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I'm going to put the flame on low and make sure my pot is closed very well, and come back after 45 minutes, and the biryani should look delicious. Because I have opened the lid, the aromatic flavor of the Keema Biriyani is all over. I have tried to decorate it on my way. I have also made it the raita, so if somebody feels it's dry, so they can add some raita. I will make another recipe of raita soon, but now I want to show you my biryani. So yeah, this is the cherry tomato that I have added there, and to make it look fuller, I have added one boiled egg. And yeah, this is the look that of my biryani. I'm sure once you try this biryani, you will keep on making it again and again. I have tried to show you this biryani in the simplest way, and I hope you make it. And if you like my recipe, please put a thumbs up and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching.